Well, here we are again, still in lockdown. So this time I thought I'd make a video about a holiday I had back in 2012. We'd just bought a caravan and decided to go up to the Lake District. We had a fabulous time. I remember sitting in a hide, watching over a lake, and my very first otter came from the left, swimming right in front of us. And as a wildlife photographer, for you to see your very first otter, it's something that you'll never forget, and it was a fantastic experience. So much so that night we decided that, tell you what, we'll go up to the Isle of Mull from the Lake District. We had no idea how to get there, where we was going, all the rest of it, so we just fortunately had some Wi-Fi, looked on the internet, ended up booking the ferry, booking the campsite, and just taking it by chance. We drove from the Lake District up to Oban. It took us 7 hours with the caravan round Loch Lomond. It was a big caravan, it was very airy time, but we finally got there. The experience we had on the Isle of Mull was absolutely incredible. So when I came back, I was so excited, I was so pleased with what we'd done, I decided to write about it. So I wrote a story, and what I've decided to do is tell you that story. So I've read it all out on a video, and I'll let you have a look and see what you think. Arriving in Oban with caravan in tow, we had missed our check-in time for the ferry by 15 minutes to the Isle of Mull. I rang the ferry company in anticipation of further costs and long wait, but not so, as a helpful young lady said, "Nay bother, we will put you on the next ferry in 2 hours' time at no extra cost." Not the response I'd expected, being used to computer says no. So as we drove round to the ferry terminal to collect our new tickets and drew alongside the barrier office, I explained our predicament, only to get a further response of, "Nay bother, the ferry's running late, so jump into the queue and I'll sort out your tickets." By this time I'm thinking I must have landed on the moon or something. Anyway, we got underway with Mull firmly in our sights as we stood on the upper deck. It's just a 45-minute crossing and the sea was calm. The excitement was now starting to build. All of a sudden, as the campsite on Mull's coastline appeared, someone shouted, "Dolphins!" Sure enough, a pod of dolphins were heading straight towards the ship, jumping out of the water. Guess where my camera was? Yep, in the car below decks. On arrival at the campsite at Craigmillar, a pleasant young lady checked us in and came out to make sure we was happy with our pitch. Later she would be served in the local pub, which I think nicely sets the scene. 8 AM the next morning I opened my caravan door to see Warden walking by, who informed me that an otter is feeding on the rocks 50 metres from my caravan. It just can't get any better, but it's Mull, and it can, so it does. Whilst taking pictures from the campsite along the shoreline, people would come along for a chat. I think the sight of a 500mm f4 Canon lens made it irresistible to ask if I had taken any good shots, and of course, being a true photographer, was only too pleased to show the back of my Canon 1D. Never before had I been to a place where so many people were so happy and friendly. So with the locals' knowledge and the regular visitors' knowledge, my locations to shoot wildlife were building nicely. We had booked a wildlife tour for the next day, so at 10 AM, camera gear checked and loaded into the car, we toured around the Isle of Mull, seeing golden eagles, white-tailed eagles and otters, of course making notes of all the hot spots for our return that week. Using the car as a hide, we scanned the loch shoreline, searching for otters laying curled up on seaweed-covered rocks, or hunting about 20 feet out in the loch. They would dive down, stay down for about 30 seconds, resurfacing about 20 metres along. One tip that was given was to look for a burn, a freshwater stream from the hills, as this would be used by the otter to wash away the salt water, and it was usually near their halt. Seeing for the first time a hooded crow,
I jumped at the chance to get a shot, only to realise that they are as common as our crows, but it's still great to see. Driving around the island on single track roads with passing places and no roundabouts or traffic lights, your heightened state of alertness looking out for raptors and animals forces you to take in the scenery. Diverse can only describe the breathtaking views. Landscape photography wasn't on my agenda, but a 17 to 40mm Canon lens was now on my wish list. Mull's got a lot to answer for. We had booked 5 days and ended up staying 8, changing the ferry times twice. The Isle of Mull has had quite an effect on my wife and I, so much so we put our caravan into storage on the island, so that the drive from Nottingham could be done in 1 day and not 2 towing a caravan. Why wouldn't we? Great wildlife photography, great scenery, lovely people, even an honesty box in the post office. Paradise. Labour.
Since 2012, for the last 8 years, we've revisited the Isle of Mull many times, sometimes twice in a year. On one occasion we stayed there 3 weeks. It is our go-to place now. It's our favourite place on the planet, to be fair. Every time we go, we enjoy the wildlife, the photography, the scenery. It's a fantastic experience and I recommend anybody to go. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and if you can, please subscribe, hit the like button, and I'll see you next time. Bye now.